Success is like a story building because it has many steps. So there are different steps to success, but within it as well comes with many problems because every new level brings a new devil. Hello, it's your boy Mr. CV. I'm back with another video, and I'm back on my Wala Wednesday as well. Obviously the last couple weeks I've not been able to do it. If you watch my last video you will know why, because obviously I've had a crash in my car, and you can definitely go check out my last video that I posted, which I'll talk about the crash and obviously buying a new car as well. And also as well, mentally it's been tough for me because obviously I'm not in the right mental space to record the videos, so it was just better for me to give myself a bit of space and then come back as well. And sometimes I think these type of space are important. It is important in anything you do. Even if you're in a relationship, for example, you do need some space with your partner too, just to give yourself some time to refresh your mind, and also just to give yourself some time as well, some headspace to obviously move away from things, because life can be difficult. But we're back again on Wala Wednesday, which I always say, Wala Tipoju, as they say in Yoruba, and also if they say in Pidgin English, Wala no they finish. And like I always say, problem is part of life. You can either stand up to the problem, try to see how you can find a solution to the problem, or you can sit there and start complaining, which is not going to help anybody. And I just saw something. Success is like a story building because it has many steps. So there are different steps to success, but within it as well comes with many problems because every new level brings a new devil. As you're growing, of course, you face more challenges. If you don't want to face more challenges, then you have to decide whether you want to stay where you are, but that's up to you. Obviously, as I grow, as I get better, as my channel also grows and get better too, of course I'm going to face more challenges, but I'm not scared about it. Those are part of the problems that I have to deal with, and I'm not really scared about them because I believe in dealing with these situations and trying to overcome it and finding the best solutions. But anyways, we're not going to worry about it. The problems that I have for you today, they're very straightforward because they're not as quite heavy, but they're very straightforward. And also, I'm back with my book, Books of Problems. We're going to go straight into it. It's your boy Mr. CV. Don't go anywhere. If you haven't liked, if you haven't shared, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, I'm going to try and be as consistent as possible. Of course, I have videos where I do in the weekends where I just talk about life, my life in general, things that's happened to me, things that's happened in my life. You don't have to be interested in my life. If you are, then definitely watch the videos. But it's not just about my life. It's about just things that happen in life, things that come to me. And I make videos on it. And then on Wednesdays, every 2 Wednesdays, it was supposed to be every week, but it's too much for me because of the different priorities that I have, the demands on me. So every 2 Wednesdays, I'm going to be doing this Wala Wednesday where I solve people's problems. I say I solve people's problems. They're just problems in general. They're just problems that people face. And one thing I've noticed as well is with men, it's actually funny that men, we go through similar problems, but we don't talk about it. And I think men, there's a level of stigma that comes with it that, oh, if you say something, my friends might laugh at me. And I think sometimes we need a bit of space, and my platform might be the space for people to reach out, to voice out and say how they feel about certain things, because here I give my honest opinion, and my opinions are not fact, they're just opinions, but they're just the way I see the situation and what I will do. If you have any issues, if you have any problems, if you have things that you want my opinion on, and you value my judgment, you value my rationale, drop it in the comment section, or just send me an email with the email that's in the description, and I can definitely give my thoughts on it. Now, going into this, we're going to start with the first one. Now, the first one says, I went to Portugal and I came back. All of a sudden, I realized bedbugs was on my bed. I moved out, but still the situation continued. What should I do? Wow. Now, I came in contact with bedbugs about 4 years ago now. I think 3-4 years ago. And trust me, they are a battle. Now, they're tiny creatures, or tiny ants or creatures. Tiny creatures. But as much as they're that small, they're mighty in terms of the problems that they cause. Bed bugs are not easy to deal with. They're very hard to deal with. And the thing about is this is bed bugs, you can literally pick it up from anywhere. You can go inside a tube and maybe someone else is carrying it in their bags, in their clothes, and then obviously you might touch them, transfer it to you. Before you know it, you get home, problems with bed bugs. And with those bed bugs, they create so much babies at a single time, over 1,000. They can live about 100 days without no food. That's the biggest problem with them. They can live without no food, and also they suck your blood as well. So bed bugs are very, very difficult. I don't pray for anyone in my family or anyone around me or just anyone in general, whether I know you, whether I don't know you. I don't pray that they come in contact with bed bugs, because trust me, they are a nightmare. They are difficult. I've done a video on bed bugs where I deep clean my room. You can definitely click the link in the description and that will show you, that will tell you more about bed bugs, because I had to physically deal with them. Thankfully, touch wood, I've managed to deal with them. Now, when you come into contact with bed bugs, one of the first things you should do is you need to wash all your clothes, your bags, everything. You need to wash them with hot water. Now, the reason is because bed bugs don't like heat. Now, some of you start washing it. No, you need to deep clean everything. And after you deep cleaning everything, you also need to call people to come and fumigate the whole flat, or wherever you are, your building, wherever you are, your room, because that's also very, very important. And you need to monitor them as well. Now, the easiest thing that people think, once, because it's happening in one room, let me move to another room and that might solve the situation. But that might not solve the situation, because the reason is those bed bugs too are traveling. And I don't know what it is with these bed bugs. They don't do day shift at all. They always do night shift. And you don't see them during the day, but during the night, that's when you see them. They come out. I don't know where they come from. It's like as if they're in a rota. Some of them will come out maybe 2 o'clock in the night. The other one will come out 4 a.m. I don't know what it is with them. But literally, those people, they love night shifts. Maybe they're even the creators of night shifts, because and the thing is, they're so small, they literally crawl on you. I even got one time where literally they bit me that my eye swelled up. I woke up with a swollen eye. And it's even happened where literally my sister came to come and stay with me for a bit, and she was badly bitten. And I don't know what it is as well with those bed bugs. I think there's a level of sexism from them, because I don't know why. It's as if they bit more women than men. I don't know why. I've been bitten badly, but a lot of the time my sister, when she comes over, she was getting bitten. And the thing is this, when you start getting bitten by bed bugs, what start happening, people start avoiding your place, and it's very, very difficult. And for me personally, the way the bed bugs affected me so bad that mentally I was affected. I couldn't concentrate. But I'm just like that anyway. When things happen and it really touches me, I get affected mentally anyway. So if you have those bed bugs, those are the best ways to deal with them. One of the biggest problems that I had was I didn't deal with them straight away. I just left it because they weren't biting me anymore. So I just left it. But then obviously, as I've had people come and stay with me, they were getting bitten and it was hurting me, because now it's like I can't move out of my place. So it's either I treat them properly or it continues. And for that reason, I had to deep clean my whole flat, rewash everything, make sure everything was washed to a high degree in terms of heat, get it fumigated, the whole flat. And when you fumigate it, just because you fumigate it once doesn't mean they're going to go straight away, because sometimes with the chemicals they have, apparently the chemicals they have, they can't just kill all the bed bugs at once. They have to die slowly due to some rules and regulations, which I don't know. When you fumigate them the first time, there might still be 1 or 2 that's still left over. And remember, it only takes 1 for them to just spread. And remember, they can live up to 100 days without dying, basically. Once you fumigate them once, you have to monitor it. Then in case you see 1 or 2, you fumigate it, because the quicker you keep fumigating them, the better it is for any chance of them populating and growing. They start off very small and then they get big, and then that's when they cause big problems. Those are just the tips on dealing with the bed bugs. So if you want to find out more, best thing is go check out my full video on the bed bugs that I did, which is in the description, or just do some research online as well. Like I said, I don't prey on anybody. I don't prey on my friends or even my enemies. I don't prey on anyone because they are so difficult to deal with. And trust me, you wouldn't want to deal with them. I'm telling you, they are a nightmare. They are serious nightmare. Let me go to number 2. I love my girl and she claims she loves me. However, something happened between us and she called the police on me. Since then, when I finish work, I don't want to go home since I don't feel at peace. Wow. This one. First of all, let me take this. Wow, this one is a difficult one. Because the reason is, when it comes to a relationship between man and woman, for me, the first thing is, obviously everybody these days now, everybody is like a relationship coach. Everybody thinks they know the answers when it comes to relationship. Oh, you should do this, you should do that, man should be like this, woman should be like that, blah blah blah. For me personally, I'm not a relationship coach. I've never claimed to be a relationship coach. I still need work on my relationship. I still need work on relationship in general. But one thing I do know about relationship is, first of all, is the two people that within the relationship that will decide what works for them, the rules and regulations that works for them. I strongly believe in that. All this, oh, man has to do this, woman has to do that, blah blah blah. Aside from that, there are some principles that you as a guy or a woman should also have, and this could be religious principles. If you're a Muslim, maybe you want your family or the person in your relationship to be a certain way. If you're a Christian, you also want your relationship too to be a certain way. Those are principles. But in terms of the relationship itself, the rules and regulations should be set by the two people that are involved in the relationship. All the other outside noise, they're not really important, because how you do things in your relationship might be different to all other people do things in their relationship. And I don't think that's a problem at all. That's just what works for you guys. Now, when it comes to this, saying that things happen between us. Now, if you're in a relationship, in general, situations happen all the time. Because especially when it comes to women, it's a lot of emotional things that you have to deal with as a guy. And it's not easy. I'm telling you now, it's not easy. There are times where things are going so well and you're thinking, yeah, it's brilliant. Before you know it, situation happens. It's like a setback. You have to deal with those. Now, when situations like this happen, one thing I did, I made a video once, and it was about staying calm regardless of the situation. And I think that video definitely, when I look back at that video definitely is an important video for me personally, because lots of situations are going to happen, and it's about staying calm regarding the situation. What you don't want to do as a guy is get drawn in emotionally in terms of the situation, because when you get drawn in terms of the situation emotionally, you can't think logically and it becomes difficult. So the best thing is to stay calm. Give yourself a couple days just to think about the whole situation, and then come back when you're calm. And that's not just guys only, that's also women too, because sometimes people are so, I've been in that situation, I've been guilty of it, where I get sucked into the emotions of the whole situation. Before you know it, you make rash decisions. Out of frustration, you just make rash decisions, and it happens. And that could be in a situation like this, where obviously the woman or the girl might have got sucked into the situation. Before you know it, she calls the police, and then later on she's regretting that, why did I do that, blah blah blah. That could be. But also, I don't know what the situation is that has got to the extent where she's calling the police. But for me personally, once you do that, that limits the trust, because now the trust within the relationship is broken. Because like the guy said, when he finishes work, he doesn't want to go home because he's not at peace. And trust me, as a guy, one of the fundamental things you need to look for definitely in your home is peace of mind. Trust me. Because outside, when it comes to working, it's very difficult. The world is, as a guy, the life of a guy is tough sometimes. because literally sometimes it's you versus the world, and the life can be difficult for a guy, trust me. So the last thing you need is when you come home is to come and face another difficulty with your woman or with your person you're in relationship with. Trust me, it's going to be very difficult. And that's why some guys, they rather take extra shifts at work just to avoid that headache. Like I said, when a situation like this happens and it's caused the friction, it's caused lack of trust, the guy is not going to feel at peace. And for me, when situations like this happen, the first thing I want to do is try to communicate. You should communicate with your partner before making any rash decisions. Like I said, I'm not in no case to say, oh, I haven't made rash decisions too. Yeah, there are times where you get frustrated emotionally and you get sucked in emotionally that you make rash decisions. But for me, I think the best thing, first of all, is to try and stay calm. It's not easy to stay calm in situations, but try to stay calm. That's why I try to approach things, to allow you to give you a clear mind, give a bit of space. But the second part as well is to have a good communication, to speak to your partner, to say, look, listen, what you did, I'm not happy with this, and try to find a way to move past it. Because communication is a big part in a relationship. Huge communication skills. There's some key skills within relationship that people don't really learn or people don't really know, and it's very difficult. Like, for example, I was thinking in my head, the way they say, all the guys must lead, must be a leader, blah blah blah. But the problem is, who teaches guys how to lead? Nobody. Do we just get a leadership skill somehow from where? These things are not that simple to have. Even communication skills. You might think communication skills is a big part in a relationship, which it is, but not everybody has a great level of communication. So these are things that you might need to work on. But also, like I said, when it comes to relationship, it is between both parties. They need to decide what works for them. So if communication to them is, listen, I can't communicate what I want to say orally, I can do it by text. That could be a level of communication, because communication doesn't mean you have to speak all the time. Communication could be you texting it, you writing it, whatever works for you. But you guys have to decide in a relationship. Regardless of whatever happened in a relationship, I don't think calling the police is the number one way of dealing with the situation. I feel is talking to them. I don't also think just blocking your partner is also a way of dealing with the situation, because that just shows that you're avoiding the situation. You're avoiding dealing with the actual situation at hand. And I don't think running away from the situation will solve the situation by hiding yourself. Because that's what some people do these days. They run away from the situation just because they don't want to deal with the situation. And I don't think that's the right way of going about it. I think the right way of going about it is communicating with your partner, expressing how you feel. Be honest about how you feel. This is how I feel. And you guys have a proper communication. It's not easy. The way I'm saying it, I know it might sound like, it's easy. It's not easy. Because sometimes one party might want to have that level of communication, but the other party might not want to have that level of communication, and it becomes very difficult. So obviously, this guy, he knows his relationship best. He's the best person to assess this situation. But for me, like I said, calling the police is not the right way to go about it for me. And two, number one thing for me personally is that peace of mind. Because peace of mind is very important. When I have peace of mind, my mind is clear, I'm able to do things. I'm going to go to number 3. I know a girl and I like her. However, she's scared about a relationship. Anytime a relationship is about to start, she doesn't like the pressure, she runs. Should I try to persuade her to be in a relationship? Wow. This could sound like a common issue for a lot of people, because a lot of the time, people these days are scared to be in a relationship. Now, that could be a lot of reasons. Reasons could be maybe they've been in a relationship before and something's happened. So they might think, I don't trust the guy's judgment, or I don't fully trust the guy or I don't trust the girl because she might have certain intentions. Some people are still have scars from their last relationship that they carry onto the next one or the next person they meet, and this makes them feel a bit scared. What I would say is, if you like the girl and she likes you, like you said, the best thing is give her some time, give her some space to obviously make that decision on what she wants to do. You as a guy, because this is a guy in this situation, you have to be clear about what you want. If you really want a relationship, you need to let the girl know that, look, this is what I want. If she wants the same thing, both of you will be on the same level. But if you're having to persuade her, I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I don't think you should persuade anybody to be in a relationship with you. Some people should be able to see your value and see that you mean what you say, and you say what you mean. And for that reason, once they see those things and they see the qualities that you bring, the values that you bring, definitely a lot of people want to be in a relationship. That's why it's very important as a guy, you need to be secure in yourself. And that's the honest truth. You need to be secure in yourself, because if you're not secure in yourself, then that's when you start just taking anything that comes your way and trying to persuade people. This is not a job interview. You're not here to come and persuade people to be in a job with you. You're not here to come and persuade people to. This is a relationship that takes mutual effort, that takes mutual understanding. So if you're having to persuade them and say, best thing is you've made your intentions clear. It's now up to the girl what she wants to do. If she's still scared due to what's happened before in her past relationship, then she needs to go and work on herself. She needs to go and take time. And if you're ready to give her time to go and do that, then cool. You as a guy too, I don't think you should run away yet. I think you should try and support her, try and help her. But I don't think you should persuade anybody to be in a relationship with you. That's my own thing. Be confident in yourself to say, look, this is what I want. If she's happy to go with it, then fair enough. You're here. If she's not happy to go with it, then the best thing is leave it as it is. Don't be scared to walk away. This is the last one. I'm just going to put a bonus one in there. I do a living care job, and I was offered a similar job in the middle of nowhere in Scotland. They even gave me my own property. The place is like a village and so isolated, and I'm tired and bored of it. I want to come back to London. What should I do? Now, the reason why I put this one here, because this is a very common thing. Like me, I live in London. I'm from London. I'm a Londoner, basically. And I grew up in London. And for me, I would lived in other places in the UK, and I wouldn't trade London for anywhere else, really. I know some people have different mindset about London, about this, but for me, due to growing up in London, I know the opportunities that London have, and I've lived in other places, and trust me, they don't have the same opportunities, especially if you don't drive. Obviously, I drive now, so things are a bit more easier to get to. But if you don't drive in these other places in the UK, in some places in the UK, it can be very, very difficult to get to places. But in London, we have fantastic transport links. So everything is quite accessible. And London as well, it can be very expensive, to be honest with you. That's another reason why people obviously move away from London. But like I said, in terms of people in general wise, yeah, London, of course, London has its parts too. I feel like I'm doing the mayor of London's job right now. Sadiq Khan's job, campaigning for London. But that's truly how I feel about London. And I've lived in Oxford. I've been to Manchester. I haven't been to Liverpool, but I've been to a few places. I've lived in Leeds. And trust me, I like those places, but trust me, I wouldn't trade them for London. But anyways, let me go back to this job. This job is a living care job. Now, living care means you working with the person, or you're working with the person that you're caring for, but you also live in their house. So you can live there maybe for like 3-4 days, then you come back home. Because this job was in the middle of nowhere in a village, obviously they've also given him his own property, which is great, because obviously it's not easy to get your own property and your own place to live, especially in the UK. But the job is in the middle of nowhere, and trust me, when your job is in the middle of nowhere in the UK, trust me, you will feel isolated. Especially if, let's say, for example, you was the only ethnic minority in there, maybe the only black person in that village, maybe the only Asian person in that village, or just an ethnic minority. You're just a minority in the village, because especially if it's in a village in Scotland, generally, I might be wrong, but I'm sure you see more Scottish people. For that reason, you feel very isolated. And the person that even gave me this, he said he was very isolated. He was so isolated that he said he wanted to come back to London. For me personally, it's really up to him what he wants to do. Personally, I wouldn't accept a job in the middle of nowhere just like that. Number one, like I said, if you don't drive, then it can be quite difficult to get to places. That's number one. Number two, because you're an ethnic minority already anyway, to form friendships and relationships there, it can be quite difficult because, first of all, you're like an outsider. So they might look at you differently. They might. It's not saying 100% they're going to do, but they might look at you differently. And even you yourself, you feel different. You feel uncomfortable. So if it was me in this situation, I'll definitely come back to London. Because with London, like I said, I grew up in London. So obviously I know London more. I know there's fantastic opportunities in London here. And also I can maneuver myself in London. In saying that, on the other hand, the way I am too, I like to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture for me will be, okay, you know what? Sacrifice a year or two. Maybe stack up a bit of money. Once I've stacked up a bit of money, then I can move back to London. Because now I've got a bit of money with me. Because London is very expensive. Just to take a public transport somewhere is quite costly. Sometimes it's better to even drive than take a public transport. So that might be also an alternative. Maybe, you know what? Sometimes you need to sacrifice some certain parts. Then of course to enjoy it. So maybe you should stay there for a little bit, maybe a year or two, raise a bit of money or real capital, then come back to London, and of course he's got something that he can work on. But ultimately the decision is up to him. But this is just what I would do. If it was me, those are the two options I would take. Because like I said, London is my home. I like London quite a lot. And maybe in the future I might change. My idea might change about London. Maybe if I have kids, maybe my idea might change about London. But for now, London is my hometown. London is me. I am London. I was born in Nigeria, but I was bred in London. So that's just me. I was bred in the UK. Those are just it for today. If you enjoy this Wilder Wednesday, like I said, these my opinions are just opinions. They're not fact. So you don't have to agree with everything I say. And if you don't agree with it, drop it in the comment section. Because we're here to have a conversation. We're not here to come and argue with each other. We're here to respectfully get our point across. And that's what I channel. Those are just my opinions. If you're feeling Wilder Wednesday, definitely drop a comment, put a like, share it. It might help other people. Who knows? And one thing I've noticed as well is, listen, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. People are watching. People are watching. I know people that watch my videos secretly and they don't even tell me about it. But they mention that, oh wow, I checked out this video, I watched this video. And that's crazy, because the reason why it's crazy is because when I say crazy, I don't mean it's actually crazy. I mean, that's just, it's like wow to me. Because it's like, if they're watching my videos secretly, imagine how many people that are watching my videos that I don't even know. So it just means to me, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Even if you get 1 view, 2 views, 3 views, keep doing it. And also another thing as well is I want to mention finally as well is I was just doing some work and some guy was telling me, I was sharing my videos with him, and he was like, you're making money, are you? And I was like, listen. He's like, are you doing it to make money? And I was like, listen, it's not. Yes, I might be money motivated some parts, but I might be a person that work a lot. I might work a lot and it might seem like I'm money motivated. But some of these things I'm doing in terms of my YouTube channel and blah, 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 for me, I don't see money is a byproduct of success. So as long as I'm doing my videos and I'm improving, I'm getting better, eventually, probably money was going to come. But if you focus on the money, which a lot of people do, you're not going to enjoy the moments, the journey, the learning part. And for me personally, I don't even look at the money because I don't even get any money for a lot of these videos I do. But for me, it's the fact that I've built something. I'm building something. I'm building something great and that people can tune into. And that's what is most important to me. If the money comes at the end of it, fantastic. It's not like I'm struggling financially anyway. So the money is not really my focus. It's more about the focus about building things, learning things, getting better, and being able to express myself. And now those are the most important values to me. So it's your boy, Mr. CV. I'm going to leave you right there. Have a fantastic day and stay blessed.